Okay, third attempt. I think it's incredible, but this program is breaking my streaming. That's the conclusion. When it gets to, let me just delete this because I've been constantly trying to restart. sacrebleu is officially breaking my streams. That's the conclusion. I'm gonna remove the embed here. And let me restart. Sorry about this, guys. This was super annoying for me as well. Okay. Okay, we should be good now. If people didn't give up already. So let's try and understand how this works in particular. And why there could be a difference. So let's go to sacrebleu. Let's see where is the definition of some of these command utils. Guys, if you have any issues with my streaming, let me know please in the comments. Format the score lines, print the results table, print the single results, sanity check length, get reference files. Okay, these are all just helper functions. Download, 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 get stuff. Okay, these are just helper functions. Let's see whether anything else is interesting here. Utils, significance, result, estimate CI, compute the p-value. Okay, let's go further. Significance, sacrebleu. So how does one make these how does one make these command line utils? Is it just through this? Hassle-free computation of shareable BLEU scores. Quick usage, score your tokenized output using this. Okay. Citation. So let me see whether they have this TOK. So this is how this one is called. TOK. Let me go back to, let me open up this one and see how we're calling it. So we pass that file, and then we also pass just a reference file. So that's everything that this does. Let's see this sacrebleu format, what it is. If it's in the environment, then we grab the we lowercase it to get the new value. And if the new value is in the output formats, the format becomes the new value. Okay, what's the format? What's the format in general? Format, it's going to be JSON. If we don't set it to text, it becomes JSON. Okay. So other than that, is there anything really that's here happening here? Nope. That's it. They just specify the tokenizer and the file, the reference file. And for some reason that picks the corpus version. So let's see, why do we pick the corpus? Corpus level scoring. Corpus score. How does one decide that we go corpus as opposed to sentence? Sentence level. So you have to pass in sentence level explicitly. Otherwise, it's going to be corpus. Okay, fair enough. Let's see how many times this is called. If sentence level and length of matrix bigger than 1, then we exit. Okay. Let's see. How this works. Read the references. Okay. So this is the main file that's being called. Do you guys hear me well? Can you tell me please in the live chat? Argument list. I think this is all we need to set. Main init. Tokenizers. Metrics datasets. Compat. Just contains the backward compatibility functions for old style API access. Aha, so this is for the old style. So what's the new one? Are the new ones here? Or what? Maybe. Okay, BLEU. Sentence score. Let's see. Compute BLEU. Aha. Got it. So we have to call BLEU compute BLEU. Okay. Okay, that's the difference. So I've been calling this incorrectly apparently. So if we go to here, we actually have to go and from sacrebleu import BLEU and this one, and now we have to call them apparently. So BLEU, just a second, so metrics BLEU, and then from BLEU we call the compute BLEU, which is the static method, the only one that they have. Okay, so that means we go back to custom eval, we go to where we want to compute this one, we call BLEU and then compute BLEU, and then we have to pass in something, I'm not sure what. So correct and total. Aha, so this one already has to be apparently tokenized. Here's the definition. So you have to pass in the stats. Okay, so I guess how this needs to be used is directly through the main function, apparently. So if we go up here, if we go to the main, and if we run this, how can we run this? Do I only have to call it through? Wait, let me just open up quickly this project. sacrebleu. I lost too much time on this today. Let me just try and understand how this is used. You have one job, guys. Just build something that's reasonably easy to use. Come on. I want to be able to run it as a Python function. I want to be able to run it via command line. That's it. Installation, command line usage. I don't care about command line usage. Can I get Python usage? Or is this mostly meant to be used as a command line tool? Apparently. Okay, using it from Python. Here it is. Okay, corpus score. Okay, let's try this. Compatibility API. Credits, okay. Variable number of references. We don't care about that at the moment as well. Okay, let's just compute the copy paste this. Go to sacrebleu to my file, custom eval. Let's copy paste this. So again, somebody thought it's a good idea to allow people to copy paste this. Okay. Let's comment this out. Let's print this. BLEU corpus score. Result. And now we can go to the lines. Okay. And let's construct the final we don't need this. We just need to convert GT into for element in GT. We apparently need to pass all of them like this. And now this is in the correct format. Now if we just construct BLEU, we just need to do this and it should work. So references, whoops, result, passing the GT and passing the empty here. Okay. And finally get the signature, indent this. Okay. Let's see. Does this make sense? So sys should be just a list. Let's see. The empty should be just a list of various. Okay. And then we can maybe strip empty is strip exactly. And then here as well, we just strip these and form them like this. Okay. Let's rerun. Just want to get the same results as before. That's it. Okay, looking good. Read the lines and then convert these into a particular format is expected. And then we construct the BLEU, which we did, and then we call corpus score with passing in these. And let this run. And we get the signature. Okay, we get the signature, but we don't get the score. Cool. Corpus score. This did not work for some reason. So that's it. I'm using it exactly as they're saying here. We have the sys, which should be a list of predictions, and then we have the refs here, and then we construct the BLEU, and then we go just BLEU corpus score, and that's it. Then we should have the output. But for some reason, that's not happening. Let's try and run again. Run. Enter here. Extract the statistics. Aggregate and compute the actual score. We get some score, which if we grab the score, we get 6.61. But I don't think this is the right result, because for some reason what's the stats? The stats are what? Let's do it like this. Why would we have only 10 results? And then there is the get signature. Okay, I'm going to run this again. I just want to make sure we're not making any stupid errors. That's why I'm trying to run this through Python and make sure that the results make sense. They seem to vary constantly by just a bit. No matter what I do, every time I get a bit different results with BLEU. Hypothesis and bootstrap. Let's enter here. Process the segment by calling the tokenizer, which is 13A. Okay, this is the wrong tokenizer. I don't want to use this one. I don't want to use that tokenizer. So how do I set the right tokenizer? When in reality, they don't even allow us to do that. So metric space corpus score. Should I not be calling the BLEU corpus score here? So instead of this, I should be calling corpus score from here. Compute BLEU. Let me see one thing. If we go here, if we go to BLEU, what do they do here? They call corpus BLEU, but this is apparently the old way of doing things. Okay. BLEU. So they definitely, this is completely broken. This is broken. This is using old API. Apparently this is using the old API from the compat file. So this is completely broken. It gives me different results. And it also crashes, as we saw before. It was literally breaking my stream. I've never seen that in my life. It didn't even throw an error, it just broke the stream. Which leaves us with what? Again, here is how they say this is supposed to be run. Here it is. Run BLEU and call corpus score. but it's not working. Like it's 100% not working. Let me see whether people complain about this. Did anybody mention Python? Key lists of n strings. In the Python API. And let's see the closed issues. GitHub workflows CI tests fail on Python. Default params for calculating BLEU. Okay. Let me see what other tasks we have. We spend a lot of time on this. I mean, we could just ignore this and use it as it is and without thinking, but I think it's worth understanding what's going on. I just really want to spend today just understanding the whole pipeline. So loading the checkpoints and evaluating them. Because I want to ideally use sacrebleu during training as well. So for that purposes, I'd have to know exactly how this is used in Python. We could always call it over the sub-process run. But yeah. Okay. Let's see what they say here. So what exactly are the default set of parameters? To calculate BLEU, I see default smooth value is floor and tokenize is none, which uses 13.8 tokenizer. That's the Moses tokenizer. In this repo, while Hugging Face datasets has default smooth value exp and tokenize none, which uses base tokenizer. Would like to know the default one used in research, and also what's the difference between raw corpus BLEU and corpus BLEU methods in compat.py. There are different default values for different use cases. Sentence level BLEU, legacy methods. If you run, for example, sacrebleu with flag I, output T, WMT, L, English to German without any other parameters, you will see also the sacrebleu signature, which is in this case looks like this. So the default tokenization is 13.8 and the default smoothing method is exp. Okay, so that's why the signature is 4, because there is just a ton of confusing ways to run BLEU. Apparently, it's just a ton of pain. Thank you. Also, the inputs to tokenize are ambiguous, which uses base, and there is a none, which uses default. Would be great if the values are made unambiguous. Also, if tokenize none, then it says in the docs that no tokenization is used. I'm just wondering how BLEU is computed without tokenizing the input. See the source code of the base, and I hope you'll understand why the respective parameter is called none. This means that no spaces are added to the lines, so tokens are separated at original white space only. Note that this is useful in very rare cases only, checking the effect of non-standard tokenizers, and a warning is issued if this is used. So why is it called base tokenizer rather than non-tokenizer when it does not even separate commas? can be confusing. Who's this guy, by the way? Researcher at Microsoft Translator. Base tokenizer not implemented. Just signature and call. For corpus score, if we enter the corpus score, a sequence of hypothesis strings, a sequence of reference documents, the document being defined as a sequence of reference strings. Okay. References, a sequence of reference documents with document being defined as a sequence of reference strings. If non-cached reference will be used. This suggests that for a corpus with n documents and k annotators, references should be a list of n lists of k strings. But in reality, the function expects the transpose of that. K lists of n strings. If you do feed n lists of k strings, the function computes BLEU for the first k documents, albeit with some mismatched reference strings, and silently throws away the rest. To prevent such misuse, I think it will be good to raise an exception, okay? See what happens. Silently fails. I did notice that. For some reason, matrix is now a string, not a list. Okay. This is expected. This just calls as corpus BLEU, but it has different default values for the optional parameters. If you call the methods with the same, you will get the same results. Sentence BLEU, corpus BLEU. Let me see the signature. Might have been hitting some memory issues myself. So aims to solve the problems by wrapping the original implementation together with other useful features. The defaults are set the way that BLEU should be computed, and furthermore, the script outputs a short version string that allows others to know exactly what you did. As an added bonus, it automatically downloads and manages test sets for you. Okay, without having to hunt down a path on your local file system. It's not exactly loved. That's a bold statement. Why is this so long? Shouldn't this be so much easier? Like, it's just one damn metric, guys. Compatibility API. Ton of things, nothing works. Okay, let me just see quickly something. Let's go to the results we computed through command line. And let's see the actual signature. Tokenizer, floor is 101. Okay, even though I've set to 200, 200, version. Okay. Let's try and rerun this. So I've set this to floor as 200. I don't think we need to set this for sacrebleu chrF. That one does not care. It's not how it works. I think this should work now. So I'm gonna trigger generate multi again. And I'm going to rename this to, let's see, I'm gonna rename this one to old 4. And let me kick it off again. So let's go generate multi, run this again with no arguments, and see how it works. Okay, I made a mistake here because I commented out the run and I had this tabulate method being run. So let's just go and run this. Okay, we're slowly learning stuff, step by step. Okay. Non-zero exit status. Why? Because what? So I guess it complained here. I guess this does require setting. This does require setting tokenizer after all. That's the assumption. Okay, so after this, we need to add this. Let's now try and rerun. Let's just delete this whole directory and rerun it. Okay, let's see. Returned non-zero exit status 1. Why? What did we really change here? Let me see. Well, other than this whole mess, floor is 200. Why are you complaining again? This used to work, by the way, guys. So it's again caching some results, I think. Let me see. Okay, it's attempting to do something. There is no such file or directory. Model checkpoints. First run. Generate best output. Index out of range. Sacrebleu metrics base. Did they change something maybe? Maybe I modified something in the metrics base. Hopefully not. Metrics BLEU. Let's check these two. I doubt they've changed anything. So now we have the situation where not even this works. Maybe I've changed. Did I change this multi? The YAML config, let's see. Local custom I don't see any issues here. Example, prepare data in data directory. Guys, this should all be good. Cluster, custom, this is also good. Launcher is good. Do I have to really retrigger and run everything step by step? Let's see, let's run this. Okay, let's go here, run, sacrebleu, Flores, it's Turkish, okay, looking good. Okay, and then dump that to the result. Fair enough. How does this one look like? Okay. Did I mess up anything in generate? Let me just see. Fairsex CLI. Quickly find the generate method. Fairsex CLI. Generate method. I doubt I've changed anything here. Okay, that looks good. So then what is the problem? again, it just exited. I hate this. We literally started, this was working, and I was like, okay, let's try and run this through Python just to make sure I can step through and understand what's going on. And now, like after a break, it's literally nothing is working. Hey Luis, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm doing these live streams over the previous period. Last 14 days, every single day, basically. Let me try and run this again. This is just, guys, this is the most annoying debugging session I've had over the last 14 days. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. Okay, this keeps on giving me some stupid results. System and reference streams have different lengths. Let's see. The version not specified. Hydra. Warnings. Run job. English, Latin, Turkish, Latin, English, Latin, Hindeva. Cat, no such file or directory. Let me see. I'm gonna go run directly the generate script again. Let's set the generate arguments here. Let's go to launch JSON. Shard 0. This looks good, this looks good, this looks good. Source valid sentence, looking good. Results path is gonna be where? Here. Okay, let's try this one. I'm gonna delete this output and I'm gonna run generate from scratch. Okay, let's just make sure generate works. If generate fails, then at least, okay, so there is something wrong here. Let's stop this. Why am I running this when I actually wanted to run generate? Okay, here we are. Run generate. Okay, so I tried to run generate. Something is completely weird with this. I'm just gonna cancel. Ton of issues. Open up fairsec. I'm just gonna close all, and just find what I need, which is generate exactly, and run this one. Okay, why? How the heck does this have to do anything with? Okay, generate. Okay, so apparently that file was messing up the whole computation. I was more on the engineering side at DeepMind. I think most people who do big projects are engineering side. Depends how you define research. It's more a state of mind than a position. Okay, this now worked. So this now finally worked. We got generated sentences. Nice, 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 nice. Let me now delete this. Let me open up the generate multi, this is it. And let's rerun this one with no args. Let's just run it straight ahead. Let's see. We're running. So previously it was silently failing, and then we went on to the next step, which was like cat command, and then because there was no file, it was failing again. So that was the issue with the previous setup. The generate itself was not working. Now I got it to work. Now this makes sense. Okay, just some silent failures. Silent failures are the worst evil in programming, literally the worst evil. Just like tell me straight ahead what went wrong and print that. I need to know. Like, it's the worst thing is when you just see some failure 3 steps down the line because everybody else was just silencing the errors. Fail fast. Okay, let's see what will happen. We just collapse this method, we never use it. Same here, I don't care about this one. And same here, I really don't care about this one. Okay, so it seems it worked. Let's go here, let's go and see BLEU. Okay, apparently now we're using floors 200. Number of references 1. Case mixed. Okay, 15.7 is the score for English Latin to Hindi Deva, apparently, which is, I think, a fairly low score. And then here we get 9.6, even worse for Turkish. And then let's see this 33.4 and this 37. Okay. Let's just try one more thing. I want to remove this. I want to remove this. Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly willing to talk about those things, but on these streams, I try and focus only on topics that are relevant to this topic. Otherwise, I would be switching context too much. But in Discord, I'm happy to discuss all of those things. Just join the Discord if you haven't already, by the way. Check it out. And if you're curious about this project, you can check it out, the Open NLLB channel as well. Okay. Generate multi. Let's try and remove this piece here. Awesome. No worries. Okay, let's rerun this again and see what happens. So the good thing is we got it running. Both the generate multi, the sacrebleu, we got everything running. There's some issues with sacrebleu apparently. Let me see what we get here. That's 100 lines that end in a tokenized period. It looks like you forgot to detokenize your test data, which may hurt your score. Let's see. What do we get? Nice. So the scores do not change here because this one does not care about SPM. This one does not care about SPM 200, but BLEU scores do care. They do care about the okay, 15.7 and 9.6 for the BLEU scores. That's super low. Something might be hurting my performance, as it says here as well. That's why I want to really now dig a bit deeper into this and understand what's going on. Okay. Now let's comment out all of this. Enter the sacrebleu. Let's enter the main file, or let's enter the metrics, the BLEU as well here. Okay, somewhere this sentence is mentioned somewhere in here. Let's see where. Maybe here, maybe here, maybe here directly, or maybe here. Nope, apparently not. Okay, here. So if the tokenizer count is bigger than 100, then okay, check for already tokenized input problem only for BLEU. If hypothesis ends with this, so if the hypothesis ends like this, then that's an issue apparently. Let's see whether they end up with such output. So here it is. Most of these don't end with dots. What about Turkish? Okay, Turkish actually does end with a ton of dots at the end. So something's not all right with Turkish. Not sure what. So ideally, I would, as I said, step into this. Corpus score unfortunately doesn't offer you any capability of controlling what to do. So let's see here, tokenizers, BLEU signature. I don't care about this class. I don't care about this as well. So from BLEU, we can go and call compute BLEU, correct total. So this one requires you to pass in the tokens, the indices of the tokens. Compute segment, sentence score. Okay. Process the segment. compute the BLEU. So where is this one called? Okay. Compute score from stats. And do we have this being called in sacrebleu main file? Let's see it here. BLEU. Let me just create it like this. BLEU related arguments. Okay. Let's see, compute score, sentence, level, okay, I'm gonna give up on this for tonight because it's definitely a bad package. Completely don't like the design of the package. It's not meant to be used by Python. Okay, let me go to the train script. I'll continue with this a bit later. I'm gonna put the to do. Understand the details behind the computation in sacrebleu. The Python API is simply terrible. When stuff is not working, just give up and continue doing something else and return back later. Giving up is not a bad thing always. Okay, let's go to train. Train.py. Sec, exactly. So I want to understand why do we calculate valid for 3 times? For 2 directions and then just generic valid. I don't even know what that means. Let's see. Let's set number of layers to 6 and 6 just to reduce the amount of memory. And then let me remove all of the breakpoints, disable everything except for validation. There is the validate and save. That's it. Validate and save. So after we're done with the train step, I only care about this function. And in particular, do validate. I only care about this, or I only care about this. So let's kick off the run. And let's again change the... So again, let me just put the to do here because I forgot the other ways to... Always when I change the parameters, I need to revert them back to 12 layers. Okay, and then let's see, we want to change the validation interval. Validate interval updates, maybe literally 100 and 100 here as well. Okay, so now let's kick off. Again, let me add the to do, revert back to 1000, both this one and this one. Never change this without reverting back. Go to train, kick off the train, and let's wait until we hit validate. Okay, I changed the... I need to put the right config. Let's kick it off again. What's going on? Why am I getting this? It's Murphy's law, guys. It's Murphy's law 100%. Sometimes when things are not working, nothing is working. Come on, please. Okay. Looks like this is now going through. Process raised an exception. You're complaining about something that cannot load parameters. Aha. Okay, that's because here let's create a second run. No, not there. Under model checkpoints, second run, and let's change JSON to first run to second run. Now this will work. It was just complaining because I changed the number of layers to 6. So once it tried to load the checkpoint using the strict keyword, it had a mismatch and was just failing. Fix my camera a bit. So here we are, it's running. Okay, we finally hit the validate. Now I want to enter here, and you see here we have subset, one subset only. Why is that? Language pairs are set to English Latin. Let me see whether anything is messed up here. That looks good. Process data, new, shard 0, shard 1. So if we went to Stopes, if we went to here, this should work. This is the process data new. Okay. I don't think I've changed anything else. Okay. Max tokens. What is going on? Temperature interval is 100. Validate interval updates. Set to 2. All of that is good. Transformer. Valid. That's good. What's the difference between these two? I forgot. The validate interval updates versus this just validate interval. Where is one used versus the other one? So this one is used validate every n updates. Okay, got it. That's how this one is used. And what about the other one? Validate interval. That one is used how? This one is for validate interval epochs. Got it. Makes sense. Okay, so for some reason I'm not seeing the same result as before. Here I would expect to have multiple. Maybe I'm not looking in the right location. Let me see. Grab the iterator, grab the progress, grab this, then we go here, and then we take the validate step with the sample. But the sample comes from where? That's the question. The sample comes from iterator, that comes from get valid for this. So does this one grab both directions, or where does the data come from? Okay, let's hit F5. Let's enter here. Okay, same here. Let's hit F5. Let's continue. Hit F5. Okay. The rest of the validation subsets. So here, if we go to here, we get all three of these. That makes sense. So validate subsets are, for some reason, got it. So basically, inside of here, I'm trying to now understand why are we first validating only on this first one, the first subset before the save checkpoint, and then the rest of the validation subsets. So what's going to be the difference here? We grab the subset like this one, and then we go and grab the valid iterator. Let's enter here. Let's see what we are going to fetch here. Dataset of the subset. I think this one might be important. How many datasets do you have? I guess that's the question. What's the length of the dataset here? It doesn't have one. Okay, fair enough. Let's just enter here. So we have the dataset. That's some dataset. I suppose that the first validation is going to be doing sampling between two directions, whereas here we're going to focus only on a single direction. That's my understanding of this. Max tokens valid. Resolve the positions. World size, rank, epoch, data buffer size. Okay. F5, enter. Assert the dataset is okay. Is there any additional information about this dataset? Is there anything interesting here? Target dictionary, target, source. So which language are we talking about here for this particular dataset? I don't know. I'm gonna find soon enough. Create a sampler. Continue here, and then grab the dataset. Okay, fair enough. continue here. Just exit, exit, exit. So we got ourselves an iterator. Let's see. Once we grab a sample, we can easily try and, is there any dictionary here available? Nope. Maybe the iterator itself has some. Let's see, let's do like dir of iterator and do a string and see whether there are any dictionaries stored inside of it. Total, take, skip, nothing special there. If we go and take the data set, can we do that? Nope, we cannot. Sample. I'd love to de-tokenize these just to understand what's the sentence so that we can figure out whether this is, which language is this? Is this going to be, the English Turkish? If so, I would love to know that. So let's hit F5 again. Hit F5. Okay. So now we have Hindi, I suppose. No, this is still this is still Turkish, Latin, English, Turkish. Okay, let's enter here again. Get the data sets. F11, I want to get the data set. Which ones do we have? Okay. So that's what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. So this one is the, got it. So this one is the one particular language direction. This is the second particular direction. And then we have the concat dataset object, which is what? That's what I'm not sure about, and I need to find out. So it's just cumulative sizes, 997 and 1994. Okay, so when one samples from such a data set, what exactly do you achieve by doing that? I guess that's the question. What do you achieve by doing this? Map. Data sets. Concatenated. I want to understand exactly where are these constructed data sets. Okay, definitely not here. So let's go. Let's continue and understand how this one will play out. We can now exit from here. Remove the breakpoint. Exit. Okay. Hit F5 again. Hit F5. What's this subset? Okay, let's hit F5. hit F5. Yeah, let's continue. Let's wait a bit until we get to the next iteration. Waiting to enter again. I really want to understand how we sample from this first one. Okay, here we are. We enter here. We go to the subsets, F5. We have the valid. Okay, so we grab that concatenated data set. So let's hit F5. Just go. Progress. We additionally wrap it up. Okay, and then we go here. So what happens when we hit sample? Okay, let's enter here. Next. Next. Let's go to the next data. Single process, next index. Well, where will this take me? Dataset fetcher, collate, bin, retrieve the data, progress bar, yield. Okay, nowhere special. I'm gonna stop this. This will not work like this. Go to train. Find where we hold the train step. Okay. Find where we actually load the validation data set. I think that should happen here. So let's enter here. Let's rerun. And let's see what this concatenated data set does. Completely not clear. For train, it makes sense. We're sampling from both directions. For the validation is not clear what it does. Let's see. Enter here. Okay, so if split is there, it's not, we continue, we go and load the data set. So we load, for this split, we'll load the data. Okay. Let's enter. Let's enter. Let's enter here. Okay. So again, split is valid. So we enter here. We enter here. Get the data paths. Data is going to be a ton of these. Language pairs. Okay, we have the language pairs. Go back. We have the paths and we have the language pairs. Okay. God knows how many times I've been in this function. Split, valid, get data paths and language pairs. Same, everything same there. Okay, we split the paths. Get shard. Number of dictionaries. Okay, so we get 1111 for valid. That makes sense. Okay, so we go now here. We get the dataset key. So category main English Turkish. Okay, so we get main English Turkish. And if it's in here, then we map it like this. Okay, and same here. and then that's it. So we end up with valid containing this information, and we go back. Okay, now we go and split again. Yes, sharded is true. We grab the paths, language directions. So we go through the language directions, of which we have 2, and we grab the first one and the second, the source and the target. We grab the key, get data path. Here's the data path, okay? So we append this one. We append the key, we append the data path, the split, which is validation, source, dictionary, target dictionary, data category main, and this one. We do the same thing for the other language, and we're done. Basically 2 different data sets. So that's the param list. That's the param list. Now we go and load the data sets. Let me see, once we retrieve back these 2 data sets, then we're going to create some sampled multi if it's training. Otherwise we do what? Load into concat. So I think that's where we want to go to. So now this part is actually clear. We go and load 2 of these data sets, which are going to be basically these lang pair data sets. That is clear. What is not clear is the part that comes afterwards. So I'm gonna disable all the breakpoints and just go here. Okay, now we have 2 data sets. That's fine. And now we enter here. So this is the part I haven't seen so far. Split name looks like this, and then we put in the data set. And we save the split name. So if eval lang pairs is none, so what's eval lang pairs? What's this one? Do I have to set the language pairs that I want to evaluate, or what? No description, comma separate list of evaluation language pairs. Interesting. So because we have not specified that, in that case, I guess we just grab all of them. That's what it looks to be. We just grab all of them. Okay. And now, if the split is in here, excuse me, then we create a validation subset by joining the splits, and then we grab the data sets, the data param lists, and the split, and we load into concat data. What is this? For data, in data sets we enter this concat one. Completely unclear what it is. When you try and get an item, what do you do here? Like what does one do in this data set? Size is prefetch. Cumulative sum. Get item. I guess get item. These are important ones. All of the other ones are helper. Look to be like helper functions. Okay. So enter, assert that both are bigger, create a list. Sample ratios are going to be equal. Okay, so equal sample ratios, because we did not pass any. So we didn't pass any sample ratios. Okay. And then cumulative sum does what? We go through the data sets and sample ratios. This is a length pair data set. We grab its length 997, and then we append the current length plus 0, and then S we add this one. Okay, and then the next one has also 997 because they are both validation data sets, and we append the current length plus S, and then we add it to S as well. Okay, so now what? We save the real sizes. Okay, and that's it. So that's the whole magic with that one. Okay. And now we go through the split and we just save for all of them. We save the datasets. Okay, save datasets, understood. That makes sense. Let me now trigger the second one and get here. Go all the way to here. Okay, here we are. Let's now hit and wait until we get to the validate. Validate and save. Here, here, and here. Let's run, oops, cancel. Run this until we hit the validate and save. I've reduced intervals to only 100, so it should be fairly fast. Okay, here we are. So moment of truth. Moment of truth is going to be here. Okay, concatenate dataset. Where are we? We are here. Somebody asked for the size. First batch, validate. Okay, somebody called here. Reset, which called this one, which called this one. Construct batch, filter indices by sizes. Check size. Somebody asked for the index 212. If dataset index is 0, then sample index is this, and then we grab modulo this. Okay, hit F5, hit F5, hit F5. Okay, get item. Where are we now? We're still there. concat dataset. Let's now go here. Okay, this is it. So validate. We called the iterator method. We're now inside of the next, here, and then get item. Okay. So given the index, we do what? Bisect. What's this package? Bisection algorithms. Returns the index where to insert item X in a list A, assuming A is sorted. Low high AX. Where to insert item X into A. So given 400 and these two, I guess 0 is going to be the solution. So we get 400 for the sample. Real sizes are this. We grab the first size and then, so we end up with 400. Dataset index 0, 400. Okay, so then I guess the question is, how did we end up with this particular index? Let's click F10. And then we grab from dataset 0 that particular index. Got it. And then we go for the next one. This time we grab 1001. And this one will be 1. And so we grab 4 because this is 1001 and we are 997, so that's why it's 4. So that's going to be again 4, and we retrieve back here, we go 1 4. Okay, makes sense. Let's go. And then again, so how many of them are we going to do here? Possibly batched index is going to be what? Is not defined. Yes, you are. I'm in that scope currently. You should tell me. Okay. Yes, you are. What's the length of this one? Or shape? 48. Okay, got it. So we literally got a set of 48 random indices, and so we got a mix and match of different sentences. Okay. Okay, got it. Let's go further. In the memory. This is torque. Okay. Retrieve back the data. Retrieve back the data. Retrieve back the data, and then yield the object. So here is the object. So that sample now contains a mix between these two data sets. How does that make sense? So we now do inference on those. We have the target. And we set what? We just get the loss compared to the target for a mix and match. Okay. I understand what it does, but I don't understand the semantics now. loss on one direction makes sense. It tells you it basically tells you how good are you performing for those directions on that particular data set. But when you have a mix, I don't know what to make out of it, but I understand what it does. Okay. Yeah, I understood this. Let's go. A couple more things I want to do. I want to now go through these steps and just understand all of the plots that we have. So guys, to recap, here are all of the various metrics we've been logging, including various system metrics. A ton of different things. Process GPU power. It's kind of very noisy here, between 220 watts and a bit above 260. Process GPU power usage in percentage. Okay. Process GPU memory allocated. As the time went on, it was increasing, never got to fully 100%. Okay, and then system GPU 0 memory allocated bytes. Memory allocated bytes. What's the difference between this one and this one? GPU 0, memory allocated bytes, GPU 0, GPU process 0, memory allocated bytes. GPU 1, memory allocated bytes. Okay. Process temperature, power usage, memory allocated, almost full on GPU 1. Network traffic, disk, temperature, system memory utilization, process CPU utilization. Okay, so these are less important. The ones that are important are these ones. NLL loss, learning rate, words per WPB, words per second. So we end up processing what, around 7,000 tokens per second. That's not a big throughput. Okay, and here we have 3,000. So what are these metrics? That's the question. Let's understand all of that. Let me put my Notion somewhere here. Let's try and understand all of those. So what's the BPS versus BPB? To be reserved, gradient norm, loss scale. It's interesting how this one jumps like a Heaviside function. Sometimes 128. UPS. species batch size, I guess. Batch size, loss, epochs, train wall, like this is the amount of seconds. And then this is what? Train wall. And then perplexity. Okay, that was the train inner. Let's see the train one. Loss scale again. UPS wall. Let's just understand these a bit better, guys. Learning rate, WPB, train wall, epoch, WPS. So I really want to understand what these do exactly. And then valid, there is the validation perplexity here. Again, WPS loss, batch size, blah, blah, blah. Epoch, and the loss there. Again, this is kind of this weird loss that's combination of both of these randomly sampled. Whereas for this one, okay, 4.76 WPS, again WPB, perplexity, batch size, best NLL loss, and here it'd be cool to just filter out, add a panel maybe, and combine a couple of these. Maybe a line plot or a custom chart. A line plot, and here I want to have multiple metrics. Okay, no, we want to have the loss, the train inner loss, and we want to also have the validation loss, and we also want to have the validation main English Latin Hindi loss, and we also want to have the validation main. Oh my god, weights and biases is such a good tool. English Latin and then Turkish, and then I'm gonna grab a loss as well here. So here it is. Here are those 4 losses. Oh no, 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 no. How did I manage to mess it up? Snap my life. Wait. So loss, train loss. Again, I want the loss. This loss, I want loss, Turkish loss, and I want the validation loss. Exactly. Okay. So look, the green one is as expected, just between these two. So it's kind of the average of all of the losses. That's what it's gonna give us. Okay. Chart type, smoothing, grouping, chart legend. Oh my god, so good. Such a good tool. Amazing. That's it. That's what we really wanted. And we want to ideally put it somewhere up there, but okay. Awesome. That's super great. As I said, weights and biases is a amazing tool. What's this? Smoothing. Okay, having seen this, let's quickly analyze what exactly is epoch updated. There's a couple of questions I want to answer. First, where do we, once we exit validate function, once we exit validate and save, once we exit all of this, completely. Okay, so the question is, how is the epoch computed here? How does one compute the epoch? Because that one is being logged in the train step or somewhere. Metrics. Default reset. Let's just go to train. Enter here. Progress. Go over here. Train step. So log start time, train wall is here. And then where is the other train wall? Train wall is here at the end of the train steps. Got it. Just at the very end of the train step, we log the stop time. And when we were looking at the train wall, did we notice anything interesting there? Let's see. So train inner train wall. Okay, let's see if we say add a panel here. Line plot, maybe train wall. And then again train wall. What's the difference between these two? Sudden spikes to 45, minor spikes. So I guess the crazy thing is how stable this is. Train wall, huh? How many steps do we make here? So train step, let me just see. Go all the way to here, train step is called for every single batch of our data. And then, okay, let's see how number of updates. Let's just go step over, hit F5. What's the number of updates? 101. Okay. Hit F5 again. Okay. Number of updates, 102. Got it. So how come, isn't this weird curve? How come we have always the same time here? There must be some bug with this plot. 43 seconds for a step. That's why I was confused with these plots. Let's see. And the epoch. Log start time. Add a stopwatch meter. And then we just call start. And then at the stop, we stop. Set wait over 0 to report. Okay, let's quickly see this. Add a meter to the key and just kick it off. Start time. Stop time. Smoothed value. Stop and start. Okay, let's hit F5. Okay. Perf counter. Run. And then run this one. And then stop. And then the wait is what? To report the average instead of the sum. Stop. If start time is not none, it's not. Then grab the delta 24 and to the sum, which is always 43, add the delta and then type as n self n. And self n is just some, what's the type as? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so start. Why do we keep on stopping the time? When do we start? Wait. Start. Start time. Start time. And then stop. I mean, it's going to be useful to measure how long is our training loop lasting, and if there is a bug in the chart, that's not really useful. Why are you glitching? Let's see what that value is. Okay, this is just in vain. So where do we log these? We stop this. In train, we have the train wall. Find the train step. Enter here. And then there is a train step or something. Yes, enter here, trainer. The train wall is being measured. Okay, let me do one thing. If we go here, get the smoothed values. Let's just run this and hit F5. Okay. We don't care about this anymore. I just want to see how this, it's probably smoothed out or something over 100 and then it's fairly consistent, but like exactly 43 every single time. There must be some bug, otherwise I'm not understanding how this is measured. Train wall, always consistent, and then there's some dips. Weird. Okay, let's enter here, get the smoothed values, get the smoothed values for the keys. Loss, NLL loss, PPL, WPS, UPS, WPB, batch size, number of updates, learning rate, G-norm, loss scale, train wall. Let's go. Train wall is a stopwatch meter, and the average was, okay, so we get the smoothed value. Okay. That one is kept at, okay, smoothed value. If sum bigger than 0 it is, then get the average. Okay. If round is not none, then save round of the value. $34, make it 35. Aha. So it might literally be oscillating between 42 and 40. That's why we have these bumps, right? Got it, got it, got it. Okay. So in reality, I think I understand now. So in reality, what we see here is just smoothed value. So that's why it's jumping between 42, mostly 43, sometimes 45. Because of this way we are measuring, instead of like being continuous, it's just measuring it like this. Okay, it actually makes sense. Let's exit. Let's again exit. Get the smoothed values. Exit. Exit. Train inner. Get the smoothed values. Let's go up. And then get the training stats. Get the meter. And here it is. So train wall is going to be 35 exactly. Interesting. So because we're training a smaller transformer, that's why we have 35. Okay. And so now we'll log this every 100 steps, right? So if we open up this, we log every 100 steps. Okay. Makes sense. I don't really understand why they are doing the smoothing. Why not see the messy data as it is? It almost looked like a glitch. Stopwatch meter, smoothed value. So it basically grabs the, if sum is bigger than 0, which it usually is, then grab the average. Okay. Starts with 0. We keep on adding it on every step. So it's literally average smoothed value. Oh my god. That's why it's so stable. We keep on stopping it on every iteration. We have to do that for 100 times. And then we reset. And then we start again. So here this one gives us the average and then smoothes it out. Okay. I understand now what it does. Okay. Let's go to, it's not a bug. That's the important part. It's not a bug. Wall is get meter. Let's go to trainer. Is there any mention of wall? Log start time wall where? This is being logged in the trainer. Log start time. Let's see what's the name of this one. Log stop time. Let's see where there is log stop time of wall. Okay. This is the elapsed time since the beginning. Got it. So let's just confirm that's the case. Why would anybody call it wall? So let's find the actual wall. Train inner wall keeps on going up. This is number of seconds. So at the end we were like 37,000 seconds. Calculator, 37,000 seconds. If we divide that by 360, that's 10 hours, and that's roughly how much I trained. Okay, so I understand what wall does. Let's go further. What's the WPS versus WPB? That's something that interests me. How should I analyze those plots when I'm watching at my training plots? WPS WPS. We are logging the WPS meter. What's the T? This is in the infer. We don't care about this one. We care about trainer. Sec task. Log speed. Okay, what does this one do? And then generate. We also don't care about generate. We just care about the task here for now. So this is the only one we'll be hitting. Okay, so let's see what this one does. Disable all of the breakpoints except for this one. Run. Here it is. So we grab the number of tokens from the logging outputs. Reduce metric. Where is this one called? We're now in the validation step, and at the end of the validation step there is the reduce and log stats, and that's where this one is called. If we enter here, we add the meter for the key WPS called time meter, and then we reset. Reset meter on the first one. Okay, let's go. Again. So every step is being called, but now it's just being updated. Okay, updated with a value, number of tokens, and when we update, what we do to time meter is we just add the previous value to, this is the aggregate, and we keep on how many times we've done that. Okay, we also on reset log the start time. Okay, and then when somebody asks for a smoothed value, it's gonna grab the average, which is gonna be the tokens over time, basically elapsed time being whatever was the initial time init. So init is usually, I guess, 0, and then we see what's the elapsed time, and we divide that. So that's number of words per second or tokens per second. Okay, and then we grab that and we safely round it. So number of, let's see what's our WPS. What's our WPS here? Let's understand that. Okay, trainer WPS. Here is the WPS. Roughly 7,200 tokens per second. Okay, and what's the, let's see what's the WPB. There is the WPS. There is also the WPB. Okay, and this one is called here. Again, this one is also a number of tokens, but it's a log scalar as opposed to log speed. So let's see what's the difference. Log scalar does what? It adds the average meter. And on update, what does the average meter do? Grabs the value, number of tokens, okay, sets the value here, and if n is bigger than 0, which it usually is, because let me see, update n is never passed here. No, wait, value and weight. Just a second. So the weight here is 1. But do we pass it in here? No, log scalar. We pass in the first positional one and then the tokens. So that's the key. The tokens are the value, and then we log the priority in the round. The weight is just left as it is, which is 1, because it's always 1. Because the weight is always 1, and that's the second argument to update. That means n is always 1. That means we always enter here and do what? We multiply the value with n, which is always 1, and then grab the sum. So we just keep on summing and we keep on counting. Okay, so there is no big difference between these two, right? Because when we ask about this, we get the sum over count, which is okay, this number of tokens per step. And that's why it's called, I guess, just a second, that's why it's called like this, number of words per second, words per beat. I guess this is word per beat. This is just in time dimensions, how many tokens per second, and this is how many tokens per step. Okay. And then what's the UPS? UPS is, again, this is a speed. Aha, this is speed. But we always put in 1, which means this basically tells us how faster than real time we are. Is that the case? Update per second. How many updates per second do we have? Yeah, that's just the updates per second. So let's see. What's the UPS for us? How many updates do we have per second? We have 2.17 updates per second. Does that make sense? I think it does, because we need 8 minutes for 1,000 updates. Let's see whether that counts up. So I know that we have roughly per 1,000 updates. For 1,000 updates, we need 8 minutes times 60. So 8 minutes is this much seconds. So roughly 2 updates per second, and here it says exactly 2.16. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so everything now slowly makes sense. Let's just see what's the final one. Is the batch size. How are you measuring that one? You just log it as a scalar. So you just log the number of sentences, and then when they ask you, you just tell. So it basically says the average. What's the average batch size? Right? So it just tells you the average batch size, or batch size per step. Let's see. What's our average batch size? What's our average batch size? I don't see it. I might have missed it somewhere. UPS updates. Okay, here it is. So it varies a lot, because sentences are obviously of varying lengths, but like it seems the average is around 180. Okay, nice. Nice. The last bit I want to understand is why is the epoch updated in the, because I saw it's not it's like a continuous number, so I guess they're just grabbing the number of updates. And but yeah, how do they know? They probably know the length of the data set, and then they're just tracking how many tokens are we progressing. And I guess that's the rationale there. But let me just double check the logic. So we are now in train step. Okay. And where is the epoch logged? Let's hit F5. Let me see whether we log the epochs. I think we are. I think we have this somewhere in here. We have the epoch. Okay, here is the epoch being logged. And it's very continuous, as you can see here. Just curious how they are computing that one. Just using this as a way to understand the code base really nicely. If we have any issues, I now already feel much more comfortable. Okay. So stats, are they logging epoch in here? Train wall. I don't see epoch. 1, 2, 3. I don't see an epoch here. Let me see where they are logging the epoch. Trainer, iterator state. This is in the load checkpoint. Okay, we don't care about this. Maybe here. Just maybe. Let's see. Progress bar. So the epoch here is get the precise epoch. Get the precise epoch. How do you get that? Okay, just by grabbing the log to NDB, and then they just grab the precise one, which is epoch -1 plus count, and they get the count through here, self-fi. Iterator size. Makes sense. Okay. Nice. Okay, guys. I want to check out quickly this work from the IA team, just to understand a bit better what they've been doing here. This is a bit different compared to what this is going to take probably just 5-10 minutes at most, just to understand what exactly they've done here, as this looks like a bit different presentation. This is the August update or whatnot. So we're going to check this one out. Let me just make a short break, and we're continuing in like literally 3 minutes. Break. Be right back in 3 minutes. Stretching. Awesome. Cool, guys. Okay. Okay, guys, let's continue. Let's quickly skim through this AI presentation I found. Just want to understand what's the context here. Updates, benchmark data. Let's see what they're doing. Multilingual text, of course. State-of-the-art open source multilingual model using Meta's terminology here. December 15th, they want to have dataset and papers. Then they want to have the model checkpoint until January and red teaming, and then until January 20th launch. That's kind of the timeline, okay? 3 small technical teams. Okay. Project launch. We appreciate you. IELTS swag plus recognition efforts. Okay, that corresponds to your score. Make strong edits in task 1. Rate model performance in task 3. Review user feedback. Add robust contributions to task 2. Contribute your language. This guy is nailing it. Or girl. How to become a top 50 quality champion. Nice. Front end. Here is the interface. Blah, blah. My contributions. Leaderboard. I mean, this is actually fairly nicely done. Add dataset, loads generated tasks into table. Generated task displays to users. Contributed task displays to users. Okay. And then through the UI, user audits generated task or contributed task. So added, audited, and then those are displayed, and then reviews. Nice. Coleads. Team 3's manual templated datasets are ingested in training. Experiment with different integrating share GPT, cohere, flan, comparison with BLEU. Why? Okay. Sampling new translated datasets, including DOLI, with ratio of 60% leads to a slight increase in the performance. Can we use GPT-4 as evaluator for structured model comparison? Does GPT as an evaluator produce human-like comparisons? Okay. English, what are 5 ways to eat apples? Eating apples raw. Turkish, not even correctal language. Aya, intermediate model. Cut the apple, blah blah blah. Nice. Okay, this is their model that they've been training on their multilingual data. Preliminary results. Cool. Base model comparison, add translated, add DOLI 15, data source balancing. New Aya datasets. Okay. Is this tolling 15K translated one? Not completely clear what this is. In-house completion generation. Translation of shared GPT dataset and leftover community dataset contributions. Hey, here's Sarah. Continue supporting community contributions. Augment, translate as we come across new valuable datasets. Share GPT 90K, a collection of conversations scraped via the Share GPT API. Nice. What is it like to live on the moon? Isn't this closed now? Share GPT. Select the initial prompts in conversations and filter non-English and low-quality instances. Persian, Telugu, Urdu. Feedback on existing unique submissions. Asia, Europe, so much less. Top languages by unique submission. Nice. They got a very nice growth. Quality scores. Language ambassador. Most contributions. Junte-se a nós para garantir que o português esteja bem representado. Nice. Team goals. Access limitations. Red teaming. Quantitative evaluation. Model card. Licensing update. We plan to release AI models and dataset collection with Apache 2 model license. That would be amazing. That would be really, really amazing. Cool. Which languages had the highest growth? Portuguese, Telugu. Some of them crossed 7,000 already. Cool. Augmentations. This is interesting. I want to understand this a bit better. ShareGPT in-house completion generation. Translation of ShareGPT dataset and leftover templated community contributions. plus cohere. Select the initial prompts in conversations and filter non-English and low-quality instances. Generate completions for the prompts using cohere command model. Translate prompt completions to 101 languages. Generate completions for the prompts using cohere command model. Version. Nice. What's this XP3 thingy? XP3, guys. XP3 model machine learning. XP3 is a multilingual dataset for multitask prompted fine-tuning. Interesting. We looked at languages of the prompts used in the evaluation. Using prompts in target language decreased the difference, however, it does not change the main trend. Nice. Okay. Hey Navjot, man, how are you doing? We trained the model last night, I don't know if you saw that. And then today we spent the time evaluating it. Just some qualitative evaluations as well as sacrebleu. So there's been a ton of things I've done today and yesterday. I think I'm gonna slowly wrap up for tonight. Let me see, there's a couple of papers I found that we can maybe read tomorrow. These two. And it would be cool to also run sacrebleu during training. Let me think. Would this make sense? I mean, how would I do it? It definitely makes sense. There is this. Sharding and during training. Okay. Just making some plans for what to do for tomorrow. Hey Tukan, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate the kind words. Welcome to the stream, and if you're first time here, join the Open NLLB channel, where we are basically collaborating on this new project, trying to create a powerful machine translation system for hundreds of languages. Okay, I have to check, my Discord exploded. We might be, let me see, we might be already hitting like 5,000 members almost. Let me see. Oh my god, we crossed 5,000, guys. We crossed 5,000 members. Woo! Nice. I guess the mods here notice that. I'm gonna write something later. Oh, nice. Awesome, Tukan. Okay, so what's the plan? Getting already super tired. So understand the details behind the computation in sacrebleu. Yeah, I want to understand a bit better what's going on in sacrebleu. But we can currently run it already. If we have a checkpoint, we can run it and we can get some results, which should be at least relatively comparable, even though maybe if the number are off or something, we can still use it. So what ideally I would do is somehow, instead of data parallelism, I would do some model parallelism and shard the data set. Let me see whether model sharding or something like that is mentioned. And then I would love to run sacrebleu on Flores during training on the dev set. Also, I would love to sample text during training just to understand every now and then, just like save that and see what's going on so we can understand the progress a bit better than just tracking the metrics like loss. Okay, let me quickly see what is going on with model sharding. Is that mentioned anywhere? Model sharding, model space sharding, RAM sharding. Nah, let me just stop this. Stop the run. Sharding, parallelism. Okay, use pipeline model parallelism across GPUs. No, we don't want to do pipeline. Let's see. Implements incremental block distributed data parallelism. If anybody knows how we can set FSDP here in fairsec so that we have parameter sharding as well, that would be amazing. FSDP in 0.02 mode, shard only gradients and OSS, optimizer state, not parameters. Okay. Let's see what else. Merge. Okay. Is there any mention of how to use this? Use sharded state. Let me see whether anybody mentioned this in the issues. Yeah, this is NLP project, machine translation in particular at the moment. Although I'm planning to train some large language models for different languages as well. So here, what do we want here? Let's ask whether there is any model parameter sharding or something like that in fairsec. Whoops. Sharding. Parallelism. Let's see. For training, a single pipe module is created. Okay. Model parallelism. You can find a solution here. I mean, we can always, yeah, we can re-implement it ourselves, but the point of using a framework like Fairsec is not to have to do that. Everybody's asking about model parallelism. Let's try tensor parallelism as well. Is there any such command as model parallel size? If that was the case, then that would be amazing. But alas, I don't see any such option. Oh, model parallel size. Let's see. Nice. Nice. Common config. Okay. Guys, this is great. Wait. Will this work? Okay. Transformer. Model. Multi-head attention. Optimizer. Train. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. So instead of this, we go and say this should be 2, and then reduce this to 1 maybe, and add a to do. Revert back and remove model parallel size. Potentially, we'll see. So do we want to actually remove this? Does this mean, is this only for data parallelism or test utils, whatnot? Okay, let's just see what exactly it does. Whoops, world size, infer options, training. Total number of GPUs. Should I? be reducing this to 1 or leave it at 2. Not sure, but we're gonna find out. Okay, there's a ton of things here. Training on... Okay, let's try this. Let's just run it. Will it fail if I set this to 1? Please install the Megatron submodule. Okay. Let's go to here. Copy the path. Parsec. Git submodule. Let's just paste this. Submodule registered for parsec parallel Megatron. Counting, unpacking. Checked out. Okay. Let's rerun. Let's rerun the train. Let's maybe change the launch, the location to test run. Okay, let's run this. Replication count. Got an unexpected setting. This is gonna be completely broken, I have a feeling. No matter what we do here, I think they never tested with model parallelism in reality, so we can try and set this to 2, but it will not help. Or parameter sharding, whatever. Doesn't seem they support it. Or maybe, just maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Maybe, just maybe, okay? Come on. No. No. We were almost there. We were almost there. And then it failed. Miserably. Okay. Well. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm gonna wrap this up for tonight. It's 30 minutes past midnight in Serbia. Enough work for today, guys. Let's catch you tomorrow. There is still a ton of cool things to do. And we'll just keep on attacking them one at a time tomorrow. There's a couple of papers we can read as well, so I'm planning to do that tomorrow as well. So that's it. Cheers, guys. Have a good evening or good morning or good day wherever you are, and see you in the next stream. I'm planning to do it 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, Central European time. Just FYI. Okay. Cheers, guys. See ya.